am so glad you are here. It is alive on Wednesday, 22nd of July, 2026. We're going to let in our fabulous friends over at Instagram. There's always a pause. And while we're waiting, what are we wearing? Look at those gorgeous rings. Tracy's Treasures, Christopher Studios, silver jewelry. Fantastic. You've heard me say it before. Come get it because the silver prices have tripled. Grab it if you like it. Now is the time to buy if you can. That said, oh, and what are we drinking? We're just drinking plain old black tea today. It's true. And water. Yeah. So what's going on? Oh, Saturday. Coming up this Saturday, the 25th. Celine or Adam's Magical Astrology coming up. His best series of classes, most popular ones he's taught. People are having a great time. Come to that. You can sign up using the widget on the screen if you see one, or go to the events tab at magusbooks.com. At noon on Sunday, the 26th, this coming Sunday, we have a Reiki Share open space in this room for folks. At 1, we have the basics of theurgy. Sign up for that one. That is like Magical Astrology. That is a by donation class. You can make a donation you think is appropriate online before you come in or at the register. It's fine. Story time is at 3. A couple of books from our fabulous kids section. And Palmistry 101 with our very own Eshu is here at 4 on Sunday. Another by donation class. Again, just go to the events tab. You can register and sign up. In the middle of all this, I should point out, you'll notice Chris is back. It's the adorable Christine Wilson painting the trunk that will be up for sale as soon as it's finished. And we're talking probably just a few weeks, right?
Maybe just a couple weeks even.
Yeah. So it'll be fun and exciting. But
we'll see how difficult it wants to be.
And you can tune into TikTok. When this is over, we'll set up a little live TikTok so you can see more of her painting work. But on with our fabulous schedule. Sunday, the first Sunday of next month, the 2nd, Gateway to the Gods. That's happening. I'm debating between Daga and Sinaquichi. We'll see what happens. 3 o'clock, also the story time. And Sunday the 9th at 10, we have the intro to Gardnerianism class. That's before we open, so it only lasts an hour. Story time at 3. And on Sunday the 9th, that's what I'm talking about, Sunday the 9th, at 1 o'clock, Tea and Tarot on Sunday the 9th. Always a fun class. And all 3 of our tarot teachers are now teaching that class in rotation. And I know one of the classes coming up is going to be dealing with the scary cards of the tarot, the ones that people get nervous about, like the tarot and the 9 of Swords and all those scary looking things, the devil. And we'll talk about how to read those with compassion in that class. And it should be a great class. Story time at 3. And an herb walk, another by donation class, just like the Tea and Tarot and the rest of these. Herb walk is scheduled for Sunday the 9th. It's about an hour. We go through the neighborhood, which I'm very proud of because it means I get to show you that even in the middle of the city, the universe puts plants right in front of us, asking us to be healthy. And I love that. Now, I mentioned the tarot class, the palmistry class. I'm looking at my list here. The astrology class. We have readers. We have wonderful readers. And I want to tell you when they're here. Today, Eshu will be in from noon to 6, are all of our open hours. He'll also be here on Friday and Saturday, noon to 6 on Friday. Saturday, he splits the day with Margaret. So he's here 12 to 3, and then she's here 3 to 6. If you do want a feminine perspective on your tarot reading, she is our one and only female tarot reader, so come get her reading then. Eshu, fabulous tarot reader and palm reader in his own right. He's the one who's teaching that wonderful palmistry class. He's also here all day on Sunday from noon to 6. Morpheus is here doing dream interpretations only on Mondays from 2 to 6. So if you've got questions about your dreams, that's the time to stop in. Daryl is doing his oracle card readings Mondays noon to 2, Tuesdays 3 to 6, and Thursdays noon to 3. Ravenwolf, our other wonderful tarot reader, is here Tuesdays and Thursdays opposite Daryl. So he's here noon to 3 on Tuesdays and 3 to 6 on Thursdays. He's also teaching the theurgy class. That is going to be a blast. If you're thinking you would love to have one of these guys come out and read at one of your events, let us know, because many of them take that work on and enjoy it. And I should also add, oh yes, that's right. We have a couple of our big events to throw in there. Black Willow Starlings concert is coming up on October 8th. Tickets have been selling, so grab yours when you can. And on September 19th, we're having a celebration. I forgot to bring in your stack of books that I set aside of your latest with Lee, co-written.
Right.
That's September 19th. We have a little launch party. It's going to be fun. So put that on your calendars. It's in our events tab. And now for cool stuff that has just come in. So I got visited by this lovely lady who used to run a bookstore in Wisconsin. And she is retired, but she still goes down to Arizona and goes to the Stone. So she makes these beautiful sun catchers. She calls them dangles. So here's the short versions, right? These are the shortest ones. These are $16. And there are 4 or 5 lengths, but I want to show you the longest one because I think it's fun. Okay, here we go. This one, the longest one, is $45.
Good heavens.
But they're adorable until you get finally to the beautiful dangle. She lists out every stone that's in them. And she calls them gem-powered dangles. They're all handmade. No two are ever quite the same. But she will absolutely list out for you the stones. And the lore about them is here for you to come and explore and pick out your favorite. So, like I said, there's a few other sizes in between the two I showed you and some other price points. There are also some fabulous new leather bags, hey there, from Probably Daryl. Got this cute little one designed to go on a belt. They will all go on a belt, actually. This cute little one is coming in at $18. There are several styles of this size coming in at $22. They're cute, aren't they not?
They are.
And the big one, I'm going to hold it by its little belt loop, is $30. Aren't they not cool? So, yeah, that's what that one's like. I like all those. Oh, thank you for grabbing those.
You're welcome.
And I also thought I'd show off some fun books that we've got in our used book section. Just upstairs, just so this is not the stuff that's up online. This is not the hoity-toity stuff. This one is $6, which is kind of our lowest price for a used book. Urban Pagan, Magical Living in a 9-to-5 World. So if life is getting you down, it could be a fun one. This one, $10. Tarot Classic. This is by Kaplan. He ran U.S. Games for a time. Fabulous book. And Jarena Dunwich, who's still in print in a lot of places and spaces. We've got her Wicca A to Z book here, $6.
What a deal.
Yeah. There are a few used books up near the front, close to the register. There are some down the hall, and there are some in the classroom where we are right now, behind us. That is the new stuff that's going on. Been going through your books. I found a few that I have to move to go online.
Oh, do you?
Yes,
Okay.
They have become highly sought after volumes.
Good deal. Good deal.
But for the ones that, while highly sought after, are still available, and so the price is not skyrocketing right now. The Sun at Night, the redo.
Correct. Yeah.
Fabulous
The
book.
second coming.
The Second Coming,
Yeah.
yes. Howling at the Sky. Draconian Architecture and the Sabian Keys, yes.
Yeah.
What can you say about that?
Well, it's very much an overview, of my opinion, of what's commonly called Western ceremonial magic from my own experiences. And so it's got my own stamp on it. It's got 3 short stories in it, in that the stories sort of help elucidate what's going on in the book, and they sort of build up a mood. You know, I'm a person that likes books with pictures. You know, a lot of print sort of tends to confuse me. So I like to build up a mood. It's not just about the information that's presented; it's how to make that information more interesting and to inspire. You know, if we think of occult fiction, things like Black Easter and I mean, even the works of Dennis Wheatley, which were really probably much about the only things that we had in the 1950s, they probably inspired so many people. Probably they wouldn't want to admit that, but and so it does. Fiction does create. Is a good vehicle. And of course, if you look at most belief systems, they probably originate from fiction. If you look at the Golden Dawn itself, it's heavily inspired by Zanoni, by Bulwer Lytton, and fairly other things. And I think if you read Bulwer Lytton's Zanoni and the account of the bookshop at the beginning, you'll see a lot of correlation between that and the origins of the Golden Dawn. Yeah,
and I think there's a lot of intentional writing, fiction writing at that time to introduce concepts that maybe people wouldn't listen to in a nonfiction format.
I agree. I think so. I mean, you could even say that about Blavatsky, although I doubt if many theosophists would perhaps agree with that.
Oh, yeah. I know my introduction to theosophy absolutely came from fiction because it came from a classic children's book. What is the Secret Garden?
Oh, sure. Okay.
That's very theosophical. And I was absolutely given that book as a little kid.
Right.
One of the first larger novels I ever read. Little did my parents know.
So it is interesting how fiction becomes fact over time, isn't it? But I suppose you could look at most religious texts really in that light.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
And of course, this is a novel that is the journey.
Yes.
That depicts the journey, which
yes.
I highly recommend.
Okay.
They're both very good.
Not many pictures in it, unfortunately.
That's true. That's true. But you have a cool cover.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And now there's the latest, the fabulous, the wonderful Enochi Nather's The Angelic Deception. Gnosis as an alien artifact. What does that mean? People have asked me about that phrase.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yes.
I'm not even sure where it came from originally, but my argument is that people are often concerned with invoking angels or invoking demons or whatever. So they're obviously not from this realm of reality, I would say. So therefore, the connotation of thinking of them as alien entities is quite valid, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're foreign to us. That's part of,
Sure.
I think, the value of the experience.
Yes. Yes.
I mean, Amrith Abner, a local magician and author, was commenting today, and I followed up on that. He commented on one of our videos because I was talking in it about establishing a relationship with a deity, an ancestor, an angel, whatever it is. And I was particularly using work by Stephanie Rose Bird. It's her 365 Days of Hoodoo. So she has a little short, brief ritual to help you start to establish a relationship with a mother goddess, which for her is going to be Mary, right? That's her thing. And it's very simple. You need a table covering, you need an altar cloth of this color, you need a candle of that color, you need a bouquet of flowers, and you need to dedicate to either 3 or 9 days of sitting and meditating with it. She doesn't even give you a time range for it, just basic.
Okay.
And he responded with, it's also helpful to ask not just these other entities, but fellow magicians as well. And I said, yes, because it's about getting different perspectives. It's about historically, every major advance in society was because people sat in whatever the equivalent of a pub was, or they exchanged letters. It's the feeding off of each other's work that I think moves us forward in a way.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah, I do. Yeah, I mean, I think if you look at just chaos magic as an example, Peter Carroll's Liber Null and Psychonaut, I mean, that had a profound effect on people and getting folks to look from a different perspective. Yeah,
and I think it's taking that different perspective, which is partly the reason the store exists at all, is to give you the opportunity to pick up books on perspectives you've not thought of yet.
Yeah, I mean, I always felt that the store, I'm not a religious person myself, and so, but I always felt that that what we should stock a bit of everything, that all different systems are valid in their own right, and it's a matter to leave people to discover what they're looking for themselves.
Yeah.
I'm a firm believer that we're always hearing about revelations, etc., which seems to be the origins of most religious belief. And I think revelations are for the people that receive them, like a dream. The dream is for the dreamer. Unfortunately, most dreamers think it's for the whole human race, and I think you get that with revelations too. But I think they're for the per individual experiencing it. So, I think the incentive should be to encourage people to have their own revelations, and then go on from there. But I think it does encourage people to communicate with each other, perhaps in a more balanced way, and to appreciate other people's thoughts on these things. But it's the messages, I think, are for the people that receive them.
Yeah, no, I tend to agree. And I've worked with people who wanted that to not be true. They wanted to look at different revelations that different people had within that group, and try to come up with some grand thing, unified theory of spirituality that I'm going to say, if there is one, it's as basic as live your own life.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is about humanity, from what I've seen in my 79 years, or whatever, is there seems to be a great desire, a certain amount of individuals that really want to tell other people how to live, rather than point and say, here's an alternative way of thinking, or you should try reading this book or whatever. I mean, if you think of the impact that certain fictional books have had on people, and what people have derived from it in their own search, I think that's a bit healthier. We've only got to look at the world situation to appreciate what religion has done for the human race, haven't we?
I think that's true.
Okay.
Sadly, I think that's true. Are you giggling back there?
Okay. Me? No, I'm agreeing.
Okay. That's good. That's good, because you're behind me. I can't really see what you're doing. So.
I love it.
Okay.
So for this new book, this has been in process. You guys have been working on this for a couple of years, yes?
Well, it's not exactly working on it.
Okay.
It was an idea. There is this Enochian system, which was revealed by Dr. John Dee, Queen Elizabeth I's course astrologer. He was more of a mathematician, and there's this argument about whether he developed this language and communication as a form of spying, because he traveled throughout Europe.
Yeah.
However, it does seem to have some unique qualities to it, and there's not been much really printed on scrying these 30 ethers, which are a part of the system. There's Aleister Crowley's Vision and the Voice, and apart from that, there might be little bits here and there. So I thought was that we should, we'll go through this. The other reason we were trying it was to think about, people having all these experiences, talking to different entities or whatever. I would say initially that my thought is that really Western ceremonial magic, the whole point is to, invoke in the practitioner a form of schizophrenia, so that they can experience visions and dialogue, that the banishing rituals are to sort of balance the person. You have your schizophrenic experience, and then you banish again to return to normal consciousness. So I think that it's got more to do with that. And this came to me from Jane's book on the origin of consciousness and the breakdown of the bicameral mind. And I thought he brought up some interesting arguments for that. God, that's where I was going now. Anyway, so there was that. The other thing was to to experience. As I say, it's rather unexplored territory apart from, Dee's accounts, Crowley's accounts. There didn't seem to have been a huge amount of interest in going through them. At that time, Lee and myself were in different areas
Of the world.
Of the world, yes. And so we decided it would be interesting to go through these ethers at the same time. So we had to, organize and correlate our time zones so that we were performing them at the same time. I think he was either in the Western US, I was either in Minneapolis, or I was in Greece. And so we had to, jockey those time zones around. And so we kept a track of what incense we were using, what soundtrack we had. What we didn't do was record the weather, which I think might have been interesting, but unfortunately we forgot that one. And so over the space of about a year, we scried all these 30 ethers. And so when you're reading the actual accounts here that we kept, you might find spelling mistakes, especially me, because I can't spell to save my life, never have been able to. And so we didn't correct the grammar or anything like that. And so it's just as we wrote it down at the time. And initially the interest was to see if there was any correlation between the visions. We're both scrying the same ether at the same time. He's in his time zone, I'm in mine. And to see if there was any, as I say, correlation between the experiences. I still got to look into more of that just to see, how deep that goes. But that was the idea. The other interesting thing is that I find is that people claiming to have these experiences, it's always interesting to me that the people that, or the entities, energies that they're communicating with, always seem to speak in the language that the person having the experience does.
Yes.
Which seems a bit out of sync to me. And if we're talking alien entities, I mean, we can't even communicate with most of the species on the planet, never mind ourselves. Mm-hmm. And so I thought it'd be interesting to see, what we could find on that front. And so the basic language of Western ceremonial magic, by and large, is Hebrew. Mm-hmm. It's a language that has numerical values for the letters. And so you can build up a numerical value of, let's say, a certain word. And the concept of this, the gematria, is that words of the same numerical value have a relationship. So any entity that you're communicating with could be expressing itself. The key is, it's very easy to say, come up with a bunch of words that have the value of 55. The key is, I think, it's like when you're working with tarot cards, it's finding the interpretation that's relevant to the question. Mm-hmm. And I think gematria is exactly the same. Okay. And so there's a great movie, Arrival, 2016, which actually touches on this with this alien landing. And where do you start to communicate with an alien species? So let's say, as an example, we were trying to communicate with life forms on this planet. So if you wanted to communicate with an ant, as an example, where would you start? Mm-hmm. This movie addresses it, and it's a very good and entertaining movie in its own right. Very thought-provoking, yeah.
So you heard it here. You got to go watch that movie now.
It's a great movie, yeah.
What's it called again?
Arrival.
Yeah,
2016 it
came out in 2016.
Yeah.
Arrival. Nice.
Okay.
Kind of dovetails nicely to your On the Arrival of the Machine, which I'm not bringing in here because its value is shot up. I'm sorry. It's going to be up online.
Yeah, well, as I say, I'm not a religious person, and I do have a few issues with sort of having, over the years, having, religion sort of rammed down your throat. So I was looking for another term, for the concept of magic and the performances. And so my thought was machine fitted better in that. A machine can take you from one place to another, as can a magical working idea. You're moving your consciousness from one space to another. Yeah,
absolutely. I like that.
Okay.
I think that's quite nice.
Thank God.
Yes, you have my approval.
Oh, thank you.
You have my
Thank you.
approval, as
Thank
you
you.
say. Are the two of you, beyond what we're doing on the 19th, are the two of you, do you guys have any plans for any other events that you guys are doing? Is there anything else that's happening in your world?
Not really. I've had a bit of a hectic schedule this year, because my wife and I live in, Greece 3 months of the year, or try to. And so, we get back and it's sort of catching up for 3 months stuff. And then this year, Paganicon invited me to talk in March, which is normally the middle of when we're at Greece, so we had to cut it a bit short. And so that was an interesting. That was a great experience too. So it was very good of them to do that. Yeah.
You give wonderful talks. We got rave reviews on your talks.
Oh, do we? Okay.
And then they snuck in
Yeah.
some awards.
Yeah, they did. I know it's a bit. It's like, I think the only thing I've been awarded in my life was when I was like 14 and got a cycling proficiency certificate. I didn't really have a formal educational upbringing or anything like that. So
2 awards.
Yeah. Okay.
Just saying.
Thanks.
You're lauded.
Yeah.
And we love that. So, we found out we were there at Paganicon ourselves. I was there at the award ceremony with you, which was absolutely lovely. All kinds of wonderful awards were given out, but you did take the grand prize.
Well, but it was extremely gracious because I had really, after retiring from Magus, although you never really retire from things, it's always really, it's always really important to me, Magus. It wasn't a get-rich-quick scheme by any stretch of the imagination, but it was great to see people I hadn't seen for a number of years, and everybody was extremely gracious. I mean, I suppose that happens when you get old, does it? I don't know, but it was a great experience. Yeah.
I am glad. I'm very glad. So, with this project finally out, published beautifully. From Black Moon Publishing, I'm happy to add.
And they were great, Black Moon Publishing. It happened very quickly, actually. We been talking about it for a while. And Lee had conversations with them regarding Nima, who was very involved with the OTO, and had her own book of Revelations too. And so he'd gone backwards and forwards with them. And so it was he who approached them, and it was probably within 6 weeks it was like okay, and so they did a great job. They did beautiful work.
So
I got to thank them for that. Because it is pretty obscure, really. I do remember people perhaps sometimes come into the store, they say, "Hey, right, I had this dream last night, do you want to hear it?" Well, no, not really, because it's very personal for the dreamer. And I'm not too sure how people magical waking dream experiences either, because it is a personal thing. If nothing else, I'd like to think that it encourages people to experiment for themselves. Again, it's like pointing. We're not saying it's the right way to do anything.
Right.
I mean, you could,
You can always and I'm always telling people the reason to buy a book really now is so you can make notes in it.
Well, there is that, and they make great wall insulation.
They do.
But
they absolutely do. So, is there another project in the wings, or are you just?
Yeah, I've got a few things there, but it's there's sort of a lot. Sort of bigger sort of projects. Well, of course, painting is what I really like, because I can just lose myself in that, and you got the smell of the chemicals and everything. I mean, I like that, so it comes down to your incense bill. And so that's really what I'm preoccupied, which is really one of the reasons that I retired from Magus, really, that I wanted to travel a bit more and, and sort of step back and just, let you see where your mind goes. So,
Yeah.
So, I've got another thing I'm working on, which is this Jewel in the Machine, which is based on Bram Stoker's The Jewel of Seven Stars.
Oh.
And I've been reading it for decades, but it did come to me around about the time of this, I suppose, that there is a magical machine, I believe, concealed within the text.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's what I'm working on. Yeah, sort of trying to narrow it down a bit.
That sounds fascinating.
Yeah, well, it tends to get a bit carried away because it's sort of concealed using the Kabbalah, tarot, things like this, magical technique. Yeah, some of the theories of the Golden Dawn and their initiating rites and things like that.
Yeah, it's interesting the stuff that has been hidden in fiction. You find this obscure little tome that somebody wrote because they went abroad, they had experiences, and you're like, oh, I know where those things came from. I know right where those magical rites came from. This book was written in 18 what now?
Sure.
It's fascinating to see it when you run across it. We'll also add, though, that if you are interested in seeing some of Roger's artworks, we have some prints, we have some original pieces, and we even have 2 proofs from his tarot set that you painted.
Oh, that's right.
As well as the deck and the book that goes with the deck. So if you would love to experience those, come on in. We do have a sample pack you can see. And actually, since we are talking about the tarot deck in the moment, so the court cards are like full-blown paintings, the major arcana.
Right.
And the rest of the minor arcana that are not the court cards are done how?
Well, yeah, so the major arcana and the court cards are all, the major arcana were specifically painted for the deck because the first edition was major arcana only in a handmade box. I'll never do that again because it took me forever. And then for the court cards, I used sections of a lot of my paintings, mythological paintings, where I could take the personality types and put them in. The minor arcana, digit cards, minor arcana, I didn't want to just keep, doing more pictures from them. So I was trying to think of a way to make it a tad more interesting. And so I came up and used with binary code. So people think it's I Ching figures. They're not, because there's only 4 lines, which is 1, 2, 4, and 8. And so you can get the correct number from that. There's interesting things there because if you look at, let's say, the ace of, the ace of fire, if you turn it upside down, it's the 8 of wands, things like that. And then you can have, you could have let's say the 3. So the 3 of wands, which would be solid lines on the bottom 2, would then become the,
flip it over.
Yes. Yeah.
Now you're looking at a court card. Yeah. No,
it just gives you a different number. Yeah.
And I think that gets you to correlate cards differently.
Yeah, well, you'd like to think that. I mean, you could also look at it, like where you've got the broken lines. You could almost look on those as like gateways into the card.
Yeah.
That you could use those to project into instead of, say, Tatwa symbols or, say a scrying stone or something like that. So it's just the idea that you can. There's no limit really to what you can use, that you can find different, whether it's a bowl of water or whatever, or looking at clouds.
Yep.
I think it's very reminiscent of looking at clouds. And I think that tarot is that way. I personally think that you could pretty much put, if you're reading for yourself, you could put any cards down there that we really know the answers to questions that we're troubled by. and want answers to. We just don't admit it to ourselves because it's probably an avenue we don't want to take. And I think when you lay them down, if you're being honest with yourself, you get the answer that you need because you already know what it is.
Yeah.
And so I think looking at clouds, you see what you need to see in the images of it. Yeah.
Yeah. And I will say, if all of that sounds like it's a little advanced, it is, but there are also keywords on those cards to help people out.
Yes, there are. I mean, you got to start somewhere. But it's the whole idea of strength, isn't it? You know, you can have strength on the card, but depending on the situation, that's got a lot of variables.
Yeah.
And also the cards on either side, I think are important. So if you had, let's say, the Six of Cups, which is like pleasure, if you like, and then you had, say, wands on either side, then it probably wouldn't be pleasure because the wands would take away that.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
That makes very good sense. So if you're interested in the deck, it's here. And of course, you can always come to the Tea and Tarot class and learn even more. I know that the next Tea and Tarot class coming up, I believe it's the next one. Again, she's going to talk about Margaret's going to talk about these scary cards in the deck. So, you know, how to read.
Good, yeah. Okay.
With some compassion.
Yeah.
I know I was taught there are no bad cards.
Well, I mean, it's all down to perspective at the end of everything in your life, isn't it? I mean, you can look at things as a real pain, or you can look at them as an opportunity.
Yeah. And that's definitely was part of with the first person who taught me how to read tarot decks. That was a big part of their mission in life.
Yeah, I think it's a good way to. I would, I'd concur with that.
Yeah. She was a lovely lady in St. Cloud, Minnesota, by the way. Professional tarot reader, fabulous woman.
Okay.
A little crazy, but fabulous.
Well, that helps.
I do.
You've got to be sort of borderline.
Just a little bit.
step across the line, right? Yeah.
Well, I got to say thank you so much for coming in.
Oh, you're welcome. Thanks for the opportunity to sound off.
That's the fun of these interviews,
Oh,
at least for me. If you are interested in seeing more on this trunk, in a little while, just maybe 5 minutes, 10 minutes, we'll set up a little TikTok live so that Chris can talk more about what she's doing back there, getting those flowers ready, and you can see her paint the front, possibly also the last side. There's just a little work left on the sides of the trunk. And then next week, perhaps the lid. The sun and the moon are yet to be done on that.
Oh.
It's going to be fantastic. Well, as always, thank all of you. We all thank you so much for tuning in and for being your amazing magical you, because everybody here at Magus Books loves that about you, of course. And we always appreciate the little magical things you can do right here for us in social media land. I know you know what they are. Go ahead and click that button. It's easy. I hope that you have a fantastic week and that we get to see you again in this format on the website at magusbooks.com or here at the shop in Minneapolis very soon. Blessed be.